Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and today I am doing a video about all the authors that I found in 2018 that I really enjoyed and will read more of their books as they come out as long as I'm interested in them. There's a couple authors that I will always read all of their books, and then there's some authors that I really enjoyed but only I'm interested in this kind, so I'll tell you depending on the author. But the first author I want to talk about, of course, is Adam Silvera. I read three of his books this year, and I really loved them. The first one I read is They Both Die at the End, which was so heartbreaking. And then I read History Is All You Left Us, and then I read the book he wrote with Becky Albertalli, which is What If It's Us. I really just enjoy his writing style because he makes me so sad. Which I know that's a strange thing to say, but that's honestly why I love his books, is he's so good at making you feel emotion. When I was reading, especially History Is All You Left Us, I couldn't get 10 pages through it without absolutely feeling devastated or crying for the first 100 pages of that book. It was hard for me to actually read it. I would have to only read for short periods and put it down because I just really connected with the characters. Even though I haven't lost someone in my life, I really felt sad for them, and it was just, his writing style is so good and interesting. I don't know. I can't even, it's just I've never had an author that gives me that many emotions while reading. So I really, really love his books. And we'll be reading all of his. He's one of the authors that I will read all the books he ever comes out with because I'm also interested in all of them. He has one genre that he really does, and he does it well. And okay, so the next author I want to talk about is Emily X. Arpan. She is a debut author in 2018. I said that word weird. I know, my bad. And she came out with The Astonishing Color of After, which was an extremely beautiful and heart-wrenching novel. It really got to me, I have to say. That one was just so beautiful. I loved it because not only was she good at making you feel emotion and really explaining up characters' feelings and who they are, she also showed a different culture, and I love books about different cultures. So she showed the book took place in Taiwan, so you got to see kind of what it's like for someone to be American but be Taiwan, have her parents came from Taiwan and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just really liked that interpretation, and I will definitely be looking for any future novels that she comes out with. The next author that I'm really interested in, I don't know if I'd read all of her books, but I really enjoyed the book I read by her, is Dana Millie. She came out with People Like Us, which was a mystery thriller novel. And I loved it. I never knew how much I liked mystery and thriller novels. I've never really read them. They've always been my mom's favorite genre, but I just never tried them. And I really, really enjoyed it. I also really liked her writing and the twists she had. I just felt throughout the whole story there was always something happening, and I was always interested and brought into it, and I couldn't put it down. So it was just very enrapturing, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to look more into her to see if she has other books. I looked into a lot of the other authors, but I didn't get a chance to look into her. But she seems pretty interesting to me, and I just really enjoyed that book. Definitely recommend it. The next one I want to talk about, I'm going to skip to Karen McManus, who also wrote One of Us Is Lying, which is also a thriller mystery novel. I really, really enjoyed that book, and she's an author I think that I'll read all of her books to. She has a book coming out really soon, January 8th, that I pre-ordered, so I'll be getting that. I have never read a book with that kind of twist, and I am still not prepared for it. Whenever I talk about it, I get excited because I'm oh my god, that twist was so unexpected and so good. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll enjoy her new book that's coming out as much as I'm enjoying this one, or I enjoyed that one, but she was really good at also keeping me interested. And it's not it was just all about a mystery. It was also about everyone's lives. You got to see, she had multiple perspectives, which I really enjoyed, so you really got to understand all of her characters, which I always think makes a book just better. So I just really loved that book, and I'm so excited for her new release. The next one I want to talk about is Neil Gaiman. I read Norse mythology by him, but he also has written American Gods and a bunch of other books like that. And I've just heard so many good things about his books. So I'm really interested in trying to read more of his novels. I loved his Norse mythology book. I really thought that the voice he brought to it was really different, but like in a really good way. Like the way he described the stories was just super interesting to me. And now my dog is going to join us, maybe? Oh no, she's gonna lay down. Okay. She's loud. I was really, they were so vivid. Like, I could imagine them so vividly in my mind. So I think he's just really good at painting a picture. So I'm excited to see, like, what his other books are like and if they're as good as Norse mythology. But I'm definitely going to continue trying. I might end up trying to read all his books. He might be another one of those authors for me. The next person I want to talk about is Becky Albertalli. I've only read What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, but that was the first book I read from her and I really enjoyed it. And she also is the person who wrote Simon and the Homo Sapien Agenda, The Upside of Unrequited, and the new book that's also in like the Simon world that everyone obsessed about. I never read those books, but I've always wanted to read them. So she's like definitely like I've been interested in them. I've just never picked them up, and I don't even know which character she wrote in What If It's Us, and I actually really want to look that up, because if she wrote, I think I can guess which one she wrote, and he was actually my favorite character, so that'd be kind of cool. Let me just take a sip of my delicious tea with honey, sugar, and cream in it, because I'm crazy. And I want to look this up right now. We're going on an adventure together, you guys. This is like one of my reading vlogs. We're going on an adventure. Also, right now I'm editing a video for you guys that's coming up soon, so that's exciting. What If It's Us? Who wrote what character? That's like just a very badly phrased question. Adam Arthur. Yes! She wrote the character I loved. I could have guessed because I could tell that Adam Silvera wrote Ben in the novel just because of the type of character he was, so I guessed that she wrote Arthur, but I loved him. So I really would like to read her books. I think I would really enjoy them, and they're books I've wanted to read for a long time, so I'm definitely going to try and get to a couple this year and see if she's like one of the authors that like I'll read all of her novels from, because I kind of like having those authors. It's kind of exciting. It's like, oh my god, I have to read all their books. I don't know. It's like a goal, and I really like goals. I'm strange. Okay, so the next book I have is Leslye Walton. And this year I read The Price Guide to the Occult by her. And I love her novels. I didn't know, but she's also the author who wrote The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, which I read last year. And just like looking at those two novels, she writes so like her words and her pictures she paints is like so like beautiful, and I like don't even know how to describe the way they make me feel. Like they're so mystical and just like they're magical. Like I loved those books. They're like, I also have realized that I really love mystical realism books. So it's not only that like that she brings like a little hint of really fun and weird magic to the real world. It's also just the way she writes. It's so beautiful to me. Like, especially with The Price Guide to the Occult, I'm going to talk about this one and then Ava Lavender, because they both have had amazing parts. The Price Guide to the Occult, what I loved about that book is this girl, the main character, has like all these like amazing powers. You don't really see a lot of them, but you find out that she's like way too OP, because she'll just mention in a sentence like, oh, like one time I was invisible for a week, or like, oh, like one time I stopped time. Like, it's stuff that's like, what the heck, but she doesn't feel the need to always use those powers. I don't know. It was just, I loved that. It made me laugh. And then, with The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, that book was just, whoa, like, whoa. I don't even have words, but I'm definitely going to try and like keep up with all her books because I think she's just such a good author. The next book or author I have to talk about is Philippa Gregory. This year I read The Other Boleyn Girl by her, and that made it to my top books and my most surprising books of 2018. So it's made it on a lot of lists because I absolutely loved that book. And this author has so many novels of like the same kind of like area. I have two right here. So they're like novels that they're historical fiction, like in someone like important king's court, but it's like someone who you wouldn't, who's like not an important figure of history, but it shows like kind of how they were important. I just really, really loved her book. And she's an author I'm going to eventually read all of her books. I don't feel like I have to do it now. It's not like an all-consuming need, but it's one that like I know I'm going to get to. Like without a doubt, I'm going to read all her books. I just really, really enjoy them. And I imagine it. I'll be outside on my porch with a cup of tea and I'll be reading her books. Do you guys know how like there's some books that you know you'll get to? It won't be for a long time, but you'll get to it when you're at a certain stage of your life and it'll just be really awesome. That's how I feel about books and it makes me happy, and that's kind of how I feel about her books. So like the last author I have to tell you guys about is Holly Black. This year I read The Cruel Prince by her and immediately decided that I'm going to read all of her books because I really love books about the Fae because they're so different. Like no author writes the same way about the Fae. Like of course they have like similarities and stuff, but you can do so many things with it. And Holly Black only writes about the Fae. And I love it because all of her books are so different. So this year I read The Cruel Prince, which was so amazing, and the second book is actually coming out this year, which I'm so excited, The Wicked King. And then I also read The Darkest Part of the Forest by her, which was also really good. It's just, they're like, to me they're not like 5-star books, but they're books that I just like, I enjoy reading. Like, they're just books that if I want to have fun, I'm going to read. So I'm excited about that. I bought her, oh you guys can't see, but I bought, her first 3 books, which is the Thythe series by her, and then I don't know how many other books she has out, but like I'm slowly collecting all her books, which makes me feel happy. I love collecting books by authors. It's a thing I've just started doing, but I feel accomplished. Like I said with that goal thing, it makes me feel good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments down below what some of your favorite authors are and why, and I would love to get to know some more authors, or tell me like if you like any of the authors that I mentioned or if you don't and why not. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye!